Did you not hear? Hooray, I get to tell you something new.
Yeah.
Welcome back, fellow enemies of the fire. Jaymes is about to learn something crazy that happened earlier today. so I said we were going to talk about something heavy. This is kind of heavy, but whatever we were going to talk about, we'll get to that later. Anywho, Jaymes, AFCON has stripped Senegal of their title and given it to Monaco for the.
I was hearing about this on the Twitters, and it is this legal? Is this really what's going to be happening, or does Senegal have any?
They got Reggie pushed, man. They took it. They took their Heisman
right away.
Yeah. So listen, man. I'm of two minds of this. First and foremost, I feel like it's bullshit, right? Like, for starters, I feel like that there was no clean way to fix how that game was going, but that just, you can't vacate it like a month or two later or even longer. God, how long ago was that even?
Okay, this is why it's suspicious. Now I'm like, at first I was like, okay, I'll buy, and now I'm like, what? Okay, how did it get this far? What was the illegal thing? What was the thing that got the Senegalese picked from the championship, so to speak, where they're forfeiting it 3-0?
Well, there was a lot of chicanery going on. So, to be perfectly honest, we talked about it when it happened on the podcast, but I kind of forget all the details. But there was a lot, so ball boys and players for Monaco were taking the towels and stuff away from the goalkeeper. I don't know if they had the penalty notes on them, or if it was just literally no, you have to deal with the ball being wet all the time. You can't wipe nothing off. And then there was some pushing. So I don't remember exactly what spurred it on, but Senegal felt it was a penalty. There was a penalty call, and Senegal felt so hard done by it, they walked off the field. So then they were off the field for 15 minutes, and then they finally came back and they took the penalty, which was missed, and played on the rest of the game, right? And Senegal won the game. So Monaco, I mean, you could see it. The guy, the head of Monaco, was in the box with Johnny Infantino and was kind of like, "Yo, this fix this." So,
well, it seems like some bullshit happened.
It was all bullshit. That whole game was kind of garbage. It was entertaining, but
this happened January 18th. This final.
It was. Oh, we weren't on the podcast. We were just talking about it in the group chat then.
This happened literally 2 months ago to the day.
Yeah. So what do you the parties have already happened. The drinks have already been consumed. They've already made love to people. It's already over.
Babies will be born.
Yeah. Does it really matter? At the end of the day, does it really matter? Is it more just a stain on Monaco, or I don't know. I feel like Senegal was hard done by this. I don't feel like it's right.
This seems weird. This seems really weird, especially because the game was played out and the result of the game happened. That just seems odd. So but it was restricted. The oddity was restricted to one particular game. It seems. I was like, why wasn't, if there's some sort of oddity, why wasn't the team kicked from the tournament? If there was some sort of weirdness and crazy chicanery, so it was restricted to the one game. All right, that explains something. It was
for them. The whole thing about them walking off, but honestly, sometimes stuff just is not cool. Sometimes, and you've been, everybody's been screwed over by a ref, right?
Speaking of getting screwed over, you wanted to talk about getting some sports book chicanery or some sort of betting chicanery.
That all leads into it, man. The bookies were mad about what happened with the Senegal game. It just, I wanted to have a pretty in-depth conversation. We ended up going pretty long on some stuff tonight, but the fact of the matter, at least the way I feel, I can't stand all this gambling stuff with the sports. And
Mhm.
DraftKings was one thing. But now once you're talking about Kelce and all those predictive markets, that is absolute fucking ass. Like we could just set one up that says that Toke is gonna whip his cock out during an episode, and then I already know that. I can put a bunch of money on it and I can whip my cock out during an episode. Right? Like there's no guardrails whatsoever to this garbage. So these refs and players and everybody else, like and fucking MLS just feels just fine making a deal with these people to, you know what I'm saying, to have a sponsorship deal with a prediction market, which means we're really like we're entering the slop era of sports when none of it will it'll be like what people talked about with baseball, like, well, screw it, why don't we just have a league where they just steroid up as much as they can, because
Well,
that'll just be what it is.
they at least have been trying to crack down on certain players that have been throwing various markets, like we've talked about in past podcasts,
Well, yeah,
and they're trying to get them out of the league or out of, or like, or let people know, like, oh man, these guys are throwing matches for the sake of the bookies.
well, Derek Jones and Yabola got lifetime bans from MLS. That's what really sparked this conversation. And we didn't get a chance to super talk about that, but like, that's crazy. That is crazy. Like, and that we don't even talk about, like, you know, like you know what we did talk about was Ivan Toomey. And that cat had a gambling sponsor across his chest while he got in trouble for gambling. You know, like that you can't have your cake and eat it too, man. You can't do this. We're like, if we allow this to go any further, sports is over. Because again, like, it's the same thing as the guy who makes there'll be a guy who runs out on the field during the Super Bowl and he
the
makes
1919 or what is it, the 1909 White Sox, whatever it was, the Black Sox, whatever year it was, where they all took a payment. I mean, like, because there's a lot, and here's the thing, you're going to see it in a lot of these leagues where they're not making a lot of money, but you're starting to see it in the leagues where they're even making a ton of fucking money.
Well, because
already.
It's easier to rig now, because you can even, like, okay, I know there's a bad example, but like, perfect example, okay? So, what's her name? Cutie Cinderella, an internet personality that if you're watching this show, you most likely probably don't know. But she does a thing called the Streamer Awards. And she reached out to all these prediction markets and asked them to take down their stuff. And they're like, why? And she's like, I've got a staff of 100 people. There's like 300 people that know all the winners already. You know what I mean? Like, you can't gamble on shit that's out there. It's like gambling on wrestling. You know what I mean? You can't do that. It's scripted. People know the answer. Like, that's how, oh my God. I can't even you're just preying on people that way. And like, and then you're forcing, again, everybody now thinks they're a genius because they're going to put down 10 times as much as it'll cost them in their felony to run out on the field and be like, a guy is going to run out of the field in this game. You know what I mean? So like, it's just going to be the shitification of sports. Honestly. But like, that's funny.
I wonder if we're already living through it. I wonder if we're already in it.
It's the begin. If it doesn't, like, it's starting to happen. It really is. And if they don't stop it now, the train will leave the station. Now, this is my, like, what do you think about this as a guy who actually gambles from time to time on sports?
Oh, I thought you were asking a question. I thought you were going to ask a question.
I said, how do you, no. I'm sorry. Maybe I cut out. I asked you how do you feel about all of this as a guy who occasionally gambles on sports?
I think that there are questionable things, and I've thought this since the beginning, since I began betting. I'm like, there's people who know insider knowledge. There's people, and this has come out through UFC betting, because there's guys who know, oh, this guy's injured, bet on the other guy. There's stuff in basketball with Tim Donaghy and all that stuff. it's happened and it's confirmed over and over and over again. And then you see these weird plays where these football players or these baseball players or whatever it is, they make these weird plays, and it just feels like it's just to get to the line or something. Like, it's so weird. And it's weird to watch the game that way and to see in that game. And the funny thing is, like, I don't even have money going on for these plays, but like when you see it, it's like kind of looks a little sus. And it does make you wonder about how much of that, what you're talking about, Toke, actually does influence the overall greater game. Like, the guy's like, all right, I can only get 2 shots off because I better make them count.
For real. And that, like, and what
Because
happens
if I hit 3 shots, then my bet's broken or something, whatever it is.
Well, and that's the thing. As soon as like because I'm gonna use this as an example, and I don't mean to pick on him, but like once something is in question, everything is in question. So
Yeah,
then, like,
I
did
agree.
Jeff Gall give up those 2 goals?
No.
Did Jeff Gall a backup?
No, he just sucks.
Well, hold on. Yes, unfortunately, he had a really bad game, but
Yeah.
But once things are in question, you have to say, wait a second, how much does a backup keeper in MLS really make?
Not much.
Nah, man. Like you if you're a really great used car salesman, you're making more, right? So, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Old boy could get a 50 grand payout to let out 2 goals. Now, I don't believe that. I'm not trying to pick on the guy. Probably shouldn't have even said his name. Probably just said the keeper from last year. But, like, I don't want to live in a world where that becomes, like, it becomes one of these, like, oh, well, they won over the corruption. Isn't this great?
Where you're wondering that, where you're like, did some greater influence? Like, I'm convinced that I feel like the 2015 World Series, I feel like the Cubs got shut out by the umps and they allowed the Mets to go through for the 2015 playoffs.
Was it?
It was the year. It was the year before that they won.
It was the Mets. You're right, because I was like, wait, didn't they lose to the Cardinals? But no, they beat the Cardinals.
No, and I felt like the umps were just like leaning in. I'm like, oh, geez, I guess like that's the way it's going to go this one. And then when the White Sox won it, I didn't. There might have been like one play or two, but I didn't really see it. And then when the Cubs actually won it, I didn't really see. Maybe it's hard to see, but when it happens against you, it's like it's a little easier to see.
Well, the thing is, like, the prediction markets are worse because, again, so here's the thing. There's a reason why Henry Hill made all that money point shaving at Boston College, because it's a really hard thing to do and to do it right. You know what I'm saying? So the real problem is the prediction markets, where you can say an outlandish thing will happen and force the outlandish thing. Whereas normal betting, like point shaving, took a lot of effort. You know what I mean? Not like way to go, but like still, you know, it took a lot of effort and it wasn't worth it for a lot of the guys. Now, just the sheer amount of money in it,
it brings into question the last game for the Fire. I told you guys early on that referee was making these weird calls, and I couldn't understand it. I'm like, it doesn't matter what language you speak. Like soccer. Like, did you used to coach? Did you used to ref like American football? Like these calls are common all over the world, and like he's got his own different language that he speaks. Whatever, you know, that's great, but. It was just like soccer is just this universal language, and he's making these weird, inconsistent, wrong calls for both teams. We're to the point where both teams were laughing at the ref. Like, they're just like, what is going on with this guy? Both teams were like looking at each other like, I have no idea. And like you could, I've played it. The crazy thing is I've played in games like that, in games where there's no money. There's probably no money being bet like that, like what's being bet. So maybe this is some sort of human error involved, because it does happen in low stakes games. That's possible.
Well, I mean, bad refs exist, but the problem becomes once it's so prevalent that you start questioning it, you then question everything, and then you can't truly. None of it's fun or cool or anything. So I don't know. I didn't want to be so doom and gloom, but like, it's crazy to think we got screwed over so hard by the refs on our game. Like
the other team did too.
They're-
The other team equally got screwed over by the refs so many times. It was wild because I was like, wow, this ref favors no one.
chaotic neutral.
And he's just like, oh, rapapa. It was absolutely wild.